Hey now, it's Little Paulette without the gang, and I am back with the recap slash review of the first episode of Seeking Brother Husband. Um, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about it, and I'm hoping that we can start doing some lives and start talking about it live. Um, Make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the video. Y'all. Elisa goes on to give her definition of polyamory, and she says it's when people have multiple intimate relationships. And then she gives the definition for polyandry, and it is when a female has multiple husbands. And I think they're trying to go with the angle that they're polyandrous, but I don't think that they are because I heard him say other partners in the beginning, Mike, and I know that Kenya, Rakim, and Tiger are polyandrous. So I'm not sure polyamorous. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why they have them as polyandrous, but they're polyamorous. We'll see, unless this is the way the show is trying to spin it. Miss Elisa cheated on Mike. She said it wasn't because anything was wrong in their relationship, but it was because she had a deep, intense connection with, I'm thinking, the line dancer that she talks about. And they both said it was very hard and they had to work through a lot of things to get to the point that they are at right now. The one thing about these type of relationships is that the work never stops. Just like when you're working on yourself, the work never stops. So you're always working on it, and it's all about how you work through the situations. And I guess I should explain when I say situations. When I say situations, I mean like jealousy or feeling less than, which is probably still jealousy, um, feeling left out. When a person gets a new partner, those still revolve around jealousy too, though. But it's not just jealousy, it's other things that come into play. And it's all about how you work it out. So Mike didn't want to tell his friends and family because he didn't want them to judge Elisa. And he basically protected her by not telling them. But now looks like she's going to have to tell them before it shows up on the TV, on the TLC. And yes, absolutely, Mike could have just left, but he decided to stay. He picked to stay and work through it with her. And now he says he trusts her completely now. But just like with anybody else, there's still jealousy, fear, anxiety about what could happen if you find another partner, which is something that is common in polyamorous or polyandrous or any poly relationship or any monogamous relationship. It's just that in a monogamous relationship, you don't always know that your partner found another partner because they may be sneaking or lying, or cheating behind your back. So the fears are still the same. It's just all about how you work through it. The fact that he could say the words to her about him feeling, being vulnerable and saying that he still feels jealous and things like that. And that's big. And that's something that we all should be able to do. But a lot of times we can't. Let's just keep it 100. Okay, so then they took us back to Houston with Kenya, Carl, and Tiger. And it looks like they're in a gorgeous high rise luxury apartment. And Kenya has her dog Moonstone. And I don't know if y'all know, but I got a little dog too, and his name is Galaxy. And it's not no coincidence. I mean, I didn't know her dog's name was Moonstone. I don't even remember her dog's name. but I got a dog named Galaxy, and she got a dog named Moonstone. So yeah, put that together. So it's Kenya and Carl. They've been married for 26 years, and then it's Tiger, and they've been together in their marriage of 10 years. Of course, they're not married legally, but they're married spiritually. Carl and Kenya are entrepreneurs. They run several businesses online, and they've written several books together. They actually have a academy, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And Tiger is an investor, so he sits around and looks at numbers and watches the stock market all day. He says, not me. He really has some pretty eyes, some pretty green eyes. I forgot that Tiger had green eyes. Kenya asked him to help her lift the bed up so she can pull the carpet up. And after they pulled it up, she was like, everybody should have two husbands. I love it. Carl and Kenya have three children together, two boys and a girl. I'm not gonna say their names because I don't know if they want their names online yet. I mean, on the show yet. Um, and they are the coolest, sweetest kids ever. Kenya goes on to explain how they were always open with their children about their poly lifestyle and how they always kept the door open for questions and things like that, and they were cool with it. And hey, it's just a way of life for them. They don't really know any different. I mean, they were little when it happened, so when it started. I mean, not that little, but old enough to know and young enough to not know some things. You know what I'm saying? But they're very open and loving parents. I know this for a fact. So Kenya goes on to say in the 12th year of their marriage that her and Carl had decided that she was going to have multiple partners because she had met somebody. Mm-hmm. And like I said in my previous video, what do you guys think about that? Because I know that most people think that it's usually the man's idea and that the woman is just going along with it just to get along, or he wore her down, but she don't really want to do that. And I also said that I had a cousin say the same thing to me, and I was telling her how that's not true, how there's a lot of poly people out there, and people think that it's just white people, but it isn't. It's a lot of poly black people out there. But you may not know about it because people may not feel comfortable talking to you about it because they may feel like that you're going to judge them because they've heard you say things about other people in that way or whatever their reason is. But there's a lot, trust me. So Kenya said she came home and she told Carl, and that began a 2-year journey of them kind of discussing things and, figuring out that this is for them. He wanted to support the feminine. So Kenya goes on to explain she met Tiger at a Halloween party and he was dressed as Tiger Woods and he was looking hot and sexy. And they pan the camera over to Carl to see if he looked jealous or uncomfortable, which is so funny to me. And Tiger goes on to explain that they had a hot and sexy slow dance. And Kenya was like, mm-hmm. So yeah, Kenya says that Carl is more of her philosophical side and Tiger is more of her spontaneous side. But those are both her. Say that, Kenya. Carl goes on to say how they're trailblazers in this thing and he's very supportive and he's there to support his wife and her husband as well. And Tiger goes on to say how people don't understand how Carl allows him to be with Kenya in his home and things like that. They don't really understand the dynamic of polyamory and the community part of it. I think that's a lot of it. Kenya goes on to explain that most of the men react well when she tells them that she's already in 2 long-term marriages and that the relationships that she is seeking now are more about fun, more about going out, having a drink, something to eat, dancing, you know. stuff like that. Not really long term, like the two marriages that she currently has. Tiger said he still got to work through this jealousy part because a person can come in and wow you with, jewels and things like that. He can match that, but if they come to steal your heart, he can't match that. He got a point, Tiger. But Kenya's not looking to replace you, so it's okay. Tiger says there's been lots of talk about him getting his own place or his own space because, he's feeling some kind of way. Like his relationship is in limbo, I guess, because Kenya wants to take on another partner and get another bedroom. Asheville, North Carolina. Kim, Dustin, and Benson. I love Asheville, y'all. So Kim is a teacher and Dustin is a massage therapist. Kim reminds me of a light-eyed, thinner Katie Holmes, who used to be married to Tom Cruise. It's something about when she smiles, it reminds me of Katie Holmes, except for this girl, Kim, this lady, I'm sorry. She has lighter eyes and she's like thinner than Katie Holmes. I don't know which one is older, but and her hair is not as dark as well, but her face, I don't know, something about her smile and stuff, and she just looks like her to me, y'all. They've been together 13 years and they had wedded bliss for about 11. Uh-oh. And they have three sons. Actually, he had two and he came into marriage, and they have one together, so they have three total. Dustin is 42 and he is divorced, and he met Kim when he went to go take some more college courses, and she happened to be the instructor. Kim is 37 and she turned him down. She was like, I ain't getting in trouble dating no student. So he asked her again. He was very persistent. So she went to her supervisor. She got the go. What is that? The say so to go ahead and date him. So she went ahead and started dating him. And there you go. The rest is history. So Miss Kim was married before as well. She was raised in the church and she was married to a preacher's kid, and they didn't have sex before marriage and all of that. And they kind of grew apart. So they both met after they left their first marriage and they were starting all over again. They've been together for a long time, so if it was a rebound, it's a long rebound, y'all. So Kim had a falling out with her family because she was leaving the church. She wasn't really, down for the Christian values anymore, believing in them anymore, and they kind of blamed Dustin for it. But it wasn't true because she said she was feeling this way before she even met him. So family, stop it. As there comes a time when you start questioning things and you come into your own opinion about things, and that was her time. So they believe that their sexuality and sensuality is directly tied to their spirituality, as I do, as I came to be enlightened by, yeah, I'll save that for later. So they start talking about Vincent, I guess, and where everything went wrong in the relationship. He's the other guy, he's a black guy. And Kim says he was like their guinea pig because they didn't really know what they were doing, because I guess he was the first one, the first guy that they were in a full-blown poly relationship with. So, yeah, and Vincent is having a hard time with the fact that she's going to see other people besides her husband and him, even though he doesn't have a hard time with seeing her and she has a husband. He doesn't want her to see other people. I guess he wants to have a triad where it's just them three, but she's not trying to hear that. She's like, nope, I'm in an open relationship, I'm poly, and I'm not trying to be closed off. It is what it is, Benson. You gotta move on then. And Dustin goes on to say how he thought that when she got a partner, he always wondered if the person was gonna want to spend time with him, if they were gonna hang out, and if they were gonna have a relationship outside of her and him, the new guy and his wife having a relationship, basically. And that's basically what he wanted. Kim is like agreeing. I guess that when they were talking about it, that's one of the things that they talked about that he wanted. And when I was poly, I also like that as well. Not all of the other partners were with it, but it's their choice. It's up to them if they want to have a relationship with you or not. Can't really force them. And Kim agrees and says that she wanted it to be a community where it could be a friend to both of them. Yeah, I agree. So they have to find somebody like that, I guess. Kim said her and Vincent met through mutual friends and they started communicating on social media, and it was an immediate attraction all around, including physical. She was liking that dude. Benson is 36 and he had already gone through two divorces, and he's ashamed that he had two failed marriages, and he met her at the time when he was going through the shame of two failed marriages. So I'm sorry, Vincent. There's nothing to be ashamed of unless you did some outright dusty stuff, and then me and you gotta talk. We're gonna talk later though. I'm gonna interview you one day. And Vincent has two gorgeous daughters as well. Kim said she got overwhelmed. Vincent was her first relationship, poly relationship with her husband, and she got overwhelmed with the feelings that she got so quickly, and she just couldn't get over or believe that she could really love two men at the same time because it goes against everything that she had been taught. Women wrestle, I was gonna say wrestle with things that they have been taught all the time when it comes to relationships with men. I honestly believe it's one of the reasons that women don't have orgasms because they wrestle with things that they were taught by their moms or whoever, negative things that they were taught about sex, and it makes it hard for them to enjoy sex fully. I honestly believe that. So Dustin says in the beginning he thought that his wife and Benson were going to just have their own separate thing, but before he knew it, they were all meshed in together as one big family, including Benson's girls along with their three sons, and they were just all one big poly family. Till Vincent couldn't. Dun, 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 dun. No, let me stop. Benson couldn't handle it. It's hard for him. Oh wow, Dustin said that Benson was his best friend, someone that he can confide in. That's deep. That's dope though. So Vincent says for him it started off a little awkward in front of Dustin, but over time they both came to realize that they both have a deep, genuine love for Kim. And it's only natural because like he said, men can be territorial and it's more of a male thing, but that's part of poly. You gotta work through that if you want to do it. But if not, don't. And see, Vincent said that's really what bonded them. And they really were becoming a family. They were a family. That's just what it was. They were a family. Dustin said he's okay with Kim having multiple partners because he wants her to really soar. He wants her to really know herself and enjoy life. And we find out who we are sometime by being with other people. That's the way he sees it. That's his philosophy. If y'all got questions, but Dustin, maybe Dustin will come on here and we can ask him those questions, y'all. Yeah. Dustin said for his growth and for her growth, he wanted her to experience that. And I know it's so hard for y'all to understand. That is why I'm hoping that we can have a live and I can have some poly people come on and y'all can ask them all the questions y'all want. Of course, y'all can ask me as well. But yes, I want you to understand how it's not just about sex, it's more to it than that. So, yeah. So, Vincent, yeah, he said he knows that she would want him there with everyone else, but he's not a everyone else type of person. But I just don't understand it because you don't mind being with her when she has a husband, but you just don't want her to be with somebody else. So you think you can limit the people, but her husband can't limit the people? I'm I'm so confused with your thinking. But like I said, if that's the case, then you need to say, I want to be in a triad. And then you need to find a woman who is willing to be in a triad or back to monogamy, whatever is best for you. So we get back to Houston, Texas, where Kenya called and Tiger. And Kenya's just is explaining in the confessional about how she is willing, ready to take on another partner, and she needs her own space to cultivate a new relationship. And she then shows her on the couch talking to Carl to kind of get Tiger to understand about how it was when he came in the house and how it doesn't mean that the relationship is over or that you're going to be replaced, but that she basically needs her own space. So Carl goes on to explain to Tiger how when he moved in, it was an adjustment to have it was a major adjustment for a primary partner to move in. Kenya says it was hard. It is hard to have another person move in, especially it had to be hard for Carl because he's a male. And then it's hard for Kenya because they already had separate rooms and maybe I'm sharing too much. Maybe I'm sharing too much. Skip that, y'all. I forgot to tell y'all Carl is 52 and he was saying how it was an adjustment and how he did get jealous at times seeing Kenya and Tiger doing things that him and Kenya used to do. So he's not gonna sit up here and act like there was never no jealousy because there definitely was. And over time he was able to deal with it and he's been able to work through it pretty good. See, like I said earlier, it's all about how you work through it because all those things still pop up, but you just got to be able to work through it. Kenya then asked Tiger, is he ready to go through the transition that her and Carl went through of him moving into a separate bedroom and she getting her own bedroom? And I'm gonna tell you right now, Tiger looked like, nope, nope, I ain't ready, nope. Tiger said, He said he been sleeping with Kenya for 5 years, waking up and going to bed with her for 5 years. They've been together for 10, but they've been living together for 5, and he is used to that warm body, and he want to be in the bed with Kenya every day. He ain't trying to hear that. Tiger then asks her, why do you want another partner? Is that going to make you happy? And Kenya says, I like being in love. And as her relationships transition out of that, like with Carl, it wasn't like, ooh, I don't want to be with Carl anymore because I'm out of that phase. I mean, just because we're not all lovey-dovey all the time like we used to be, because we've been married for 27 years, it doesn't mean that I don't want to be with him anymore. I still love him. I still want to be with him. I just want to have that feeling again and with another person, basically. And the relationship just goes into the next phase. So you don't just abandon anybody because it's not the way it was when you began, basically, is what she's saying. So Tiger says that he will always wonder if they're not enough. And it's not that you're not enough, she's saying. It's just that the relationship is transitioning to the next phase. And Kenya says, and I think you've noticed that. And Tiger says, yeah, I noticed a little bit with our sex. We're not having sex as frequently as we did before. And Tiger attributed that to them just being tired. And Kenya just kind of giggles and she says that they're not having sex as much as she would like. Every morning they're having scuffles and vents and stuff. Basically, they're having, I don't know, they're having little arguments in the morning. So they're not really having morning sex the way she would like to. Kenya's like, when I wake up, I want to have a sexual interaction. And you're like, gosh, no. Why do you keep bothering me? Kenya says she don't want to have a needless scuffle every morning. We could just wake up happy. She's so poly. I love you, Kenya. So Tiger goes on to say that if they are not in the same bedroom, he doesn't believe they'll have as much sex, either, to Carl. And yeah, he's probably right. So Tiger goes on to explain his insecurities and how he feels that he may lose Kenya, if a new guy comes around because he may be different, basically, than him. And she might fall in love with him, but she's not looking to replace you, Tiger. I mean, come on, Tiger. Look how long it's been. So we head on back to LA and with Elisa, and she's with her mom at her mom's house, and her mom's taking pictures of her so she can put the pictures on a dating app for the new guy that she's trying to get. And the pictures are so kind of they're kind of cheesy. I don't think she should put these pictures on the app. She looks kind of corny because the pictures that she has at her house and her wedding pictures, they are so much prettier than these. These are kind of cheesy. But she's a pretty girl. So her mom thinks that by her having feelings for somebody else that they're probably going to get a divorce down the line. And I really like her mom. She's really cute and she reminds me of my Aunt Paulette. She really reminds me of my Aunt Paulette. The way she talks, the way she says things, and the facial expressions. She's petite like her. She just reminds me of a white version of her, I guess. Alicia's mom's name is Ramona, and she said, "Why can't you just be satisfied with Mike? He's a good guy." She is so cute. She said, instead of being satisfied with what you got, you gotta look for more. She is so cute. I really, really love her mother. Oh my God, she's so pretty too. She reminds me so much of my Aunt Paulette. But and I really, really like their relationship. I really do. Alyssa said that she want to find somebody that's the exact opposite of Mike, and it's not because she's not happy with him. She's very happy with him. So her mother said, so somebody that's more like you. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. Yep. She said, I think it'll help me grow in those areas. More spontaneous, more like her. Okay, girl. Her mother said, okay. Yeah, basically to help her grow in ways that she can't grow with Mike because he's not those things. Her words, y'all, not mine. Don't be jumping on me in the comments. Her mother said she always been a go for the gusto type of girl, so in that aspect, it doesn't really surprise her that she would want to have more than one relationship. So there you go. She said her dad was shocked when, he found out or she told him about her looking for other partners because he said he can't see himself in no type of relationship like that. But they're not judging her for it, so I ain't mad at him. Shoot, Daddy said he got his hands full with one woman, let alone two, three, four, five. Father said he can accept it, but he does worry because he knows how difficult marriage can be, and he thinks that something like this can add more pieces to the puzzle a difficult, the difficulties of marriage. He has a point there. So Alicia's husband's mother, her mother-in-law, is really mad about the whole thing, and she thinks that Elisa is forcing Mike to be in a relationship like this. But that's what somebody always thinks that one of the partners is forcing them to be poly, not that they're going along with it. You can't be going along with that because they wouldn't go along with it. That cracks me up about people. Yeah, so her mother gives her some advice, on how to try to nurture that relationship. So Elisa talks to her parents about talking to Mike's parents, and Lisa's mom suggests to invite Mike's mom down to their house and they all get together and then she shares it then. I guess so she can have her mother and father for backup. I don't blame her. You need some backup with them in-laws sometime. Back to Asheville, North Carolina with Dustin, and Vinson, y'all. And guess who's coming to dinner? Yeah, you guessed it. Mr. Benson. They gotta talk about everything, y'all. Where did everything go wrong? So they all hug it out, and Kim goes in a confessional, and she says she don't know how it's gonna work out, but she hopes that maybe they can date, they can try or something. Kim, I don't know, girl. So they basically took a step back because Vincent said that if she gonna see somebody else, he don't know where he fits into that. They sit down and eat some soup and they start talking and Kim gets all emotional saying how much they miss them because he's their family, y'all. Yep. He say yeah. But did he say he missed them? He say the girls miss hanging out with Cohen and it's good to get back together, but he kind of skipped over I think. Don't sue me if I'm wrong, y'all. Don't come for me if I'm wrong. And Vincent goes on to say that, the relationship that he had with Kim was also with Dustin. Dustin was a friend. They have a lot in common. And she wants to invite other people in. That changes the dichotomy of the relationship. And he ain't trying to hear that. Like, he wants it the way that it was. He likes it with them three and their kids. He don't want somebody else coming in. So he basically said that if she's going to be seeing other people, that's going to play a part in him moving forward. And Kim going to be like, if you want to be with me, then you're going to have to be good with me seeing other people. That's just what it is. I'm poly and I'm open and I'm not trying to have a triad. Just not trying to do it, bro. Like it was okay in the beginning, but this is not what I really want. I want more. And if you want to be with me, bro, that's what it is. You can go on if you don't. Still love you. Still got love for you. Benson basically says that makes him question if he's not enough, which I still don't understand because you know that she's married. So, okay. We head on back to Houston where we see Kenya, Carl, and Tiger. And Kenya and Tiger are about to go to bed, and she kisses Carl lovingly on the lips and hugs him. And her and Moonstone and Tiger get ready to go to bed. Moonstone's so cute. And Tiger goes on to explain how him and Kenya sleep together. And then Carl and Tiger are later um, standing together, and Carl is explaining how Tiger and Kenya sleep together and how they are the primary sexual unit. But when he desires Kenya and Kenya desires him at the same time, then they will be together. So they both want to do it. Their husband and wife, they've been together 27 years. They still do have sex. But for the most part, Carl enjoys sleeping and being alone in his room. He enjoys his own space. And I'm the same way. I enjoy my space. And not that I don't enjoy being with my husband, but I also enjoy like being alone. Oh, sookie sookie now. I see that progressive love picture and that Psalms progressive spiritual alchemical love mystery school picture as well. All right, y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. Progressive love. Psalms mystery school. Yeah, I see y'all. So Tiger goes on to say that there's been talk of him getting his own space and he's not really, you know, trying to hear that right now. He's slowly trying to get used to that idea, basically. Like we talked about earlier. So Tiger says it makes him uncomfortable with the thought of her having someone else in the bed and getting a third bedroom just to date, and him having to give up his space for that other person or people because she's dating, and then becoming sexually intimate with them as well. Now, Tiger said he not on board because it feel like he being put out. So he said that's the only reason why. Maybe if the other partner was in the third bedroom, he wouldn't feel like that. I don't know. I added that to it. That maybe if the other partner was in the third bedroom, he wouldn't feel like that. That's not what he said. Tiger said we need something to, show our commitment to each other. You know how I asked you to marry you before, right? And Kenya started looking all uncomfortable. And he's like, yeah, well, every time I bring it up, you just get like a little hesitant to talk about it. Why is that? And Kenya's like, Tiger says the reason that he wants a wedding with Kenya is because he's finally gotten to the point where he wants to solidify their relationship. Boy, this is like, I don't know. I wish I could say more. It's got me so excited, even though Kenya said the main reason is she's not sure about having an actual wedding because weddings are like for families, celebrations for families, and she's not sure like his family's gonna be on board. In her opinion, a wedding is for families to unite as a community, and she just don't see his family doing that. So she just don't see the point of having an actual wedding, basically. So Kenya goes to the confessional and says that Tiger's mom feels like he's not in a real relationship. He's just having a fling dating a married woman. But she's like, no, this is a 10-year relationship. So it's more than that. And she changed Tiger's life. She brought magic to his life, hunty. Yes, she did. Honey, that's Kenya KK. Shoot, she was even helping him raise his son, and she wants his mom to acknowledge her and acknowledge, and acknowledge that, honey. She said it, and that is a cause for a celebration to come together for a wedding. So that's how she sees it. What y'all think? Anybody got any questions? Excuse me. Don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. I know I always forget to say it, but don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Tiger's like, my dad might get on board with it, but my mom, no. You know she ain't gonna do it. Come on now. You already know that. Forget that. So Kenya says, what's the point then? Like, what's the point of having a wedding if your mom is not gonna be on board with it? And Tiger's like, to me, it's we need something to kind of commit to each other. So he wants to have his own marriage ceremony to commit to her and for her to commit to him. Most importantly, it seems like, because he's afraid that if he's not married to her, that he won't be in the same position as Carl, where he feels like King is not going anywhere. I, in my opinion, allegedly, everything is in my opinion, y'all, and allegedly, okay? I'm gonna have to put that up at the beginning and all of that because I forgot to say that everything is in my opinion and allegedly. Tiger said in his confessional, all of this stuff scares the crap out of him, to be quite honest. That's basically what he said. Like, it scares the crap out of him. Can you get a new partner? Not having a wedding, all that's all of it. And to him, it feels like he's in limbo with his relationship, basically. So they tell each other they love each other, kiss, and get ready for bed. And Kenya tells him, I'm not giving you up, and that's the part of polyamory that when you have to work through things, when the person is feeling insecure about the relationship, this is a good example of that. Kenya says it's just new, and Tiger says, well, he has Kenya in his arms, and what worries him is, this right here. Somebody else is going to be doing this, another man is going to be holding Kenya the same way that he's holding her in his arms, and that scares him. And I commend Tiger for being honest and being vulnerable and, saying how he feels about it because it's really hard for a lot of men to just say it. I mean, being in a polyamorous relationship, it really helps you. It helps your communication if you're willing to work through um, things like this. We're back in LA with Elsa and Mike, and Elsa asks Mike if he would like to see her dating profile, and he says, yeah, let's see this thing. And he seems excited to see her new dating profile. So Mike said it ain't no big deal, like that she's putting up a dating profile. That's kind of what you do. And he does want to see who this person is, and because this person is going to be part of her life and by extension part of his life. So it is what it is. This is a poly relationship. So she asked him if she had found somebody that she really liked and stuff. Does he think that he would want to meet them? And he's like, oh yeah. And she's like, you don't think that would be hard? And he's like, I guess it wouldn't be easy, but I mean, holding hands with somebody else and stuff like that, he doesn't think that it's gonna be so hard. Okay, we'll see, Mike. Then he takes his ass right into the confessional and says talking about it is one thing, but seeing her with another man is another thing. Even though she asked him about that. I don't know, maybe he wasn't ready to admit it to her yet, that it might be hard for him. I don't know, y'all. That is so funny. He said it's probably going to open up a little more jealousy, a little more uncertainty, certainly, can't even talk, and that he is gonna have to keep reminding himself that this is what they wanted. Yeah, I agree, but it might be other ways to work through it. So Mike says, "What were the rules that we originally established again?" And she's like, basically, Elisa, the our bed is our bed, and no one else sleeps in our bed. But now that we have two bedrooms, and he's looking like Mike is looking like So basically, he's like, no, he doesn't really want her to bring anybody back to their place. Like, he wants it to be their place, their sacred space. So if she wants to see somebody, he really doesn't want her to have someone in their place, basically. Not sure why I repeated that twice, but I did. So he basically said if they're not on the same page about everything, it could cause issues. And that was the end of the episode. And then they start showing previews for the season. So, what did y'all think about this episode? Um, Personally, I'm gonna give it a C because we gonna go over the previews for the season as well. They show the next throuple. They show Shara and her husband Patrick and the other man in her life, Noble, which I was looking for. So I was wondering where they were, and they're not gonna come on until next Sunday. So I feel like I got gypped TLC because you left off my boy, Noble. I wanted to see him as well. So yeah. They show Kenya, Carl, and Tiger um, talking to a real estate agent, looks like, and Kenya's introducing her two husbands, and she's like, wow, two husbands. Yeah, allegedly, y'all, allegedly, and in my opinion. No, that's what happened on the show. And they show Kenya also with another guy coming into the home, and they show Patrick talking about he would have never thought that, his wife would be having another husband. So it looks like it's gonna get better, y'all. And Shira says she ready to have a baby. Yeah, the new couple. Or throuple, as should I say. Looks like Kim may be talking to a family member, allegedly on her iPad, about talking to her mom about her relationship, and she busts out in tears. I don't know why, because you know how production is. They might have sliced it up to make it look one way, to make the trailer look interesting. So I don't know why. And it cuts back to Kenya, Carl, and Tiger and the new guy. And Kenya's talking to the new man, saying how she wants to have time with him alone. And then they cut to Tiger in the confessional saying that it makes him want to scream. But they leave off context. Of course, like I said, we don't know how production set this up. We know how production is. I don't know who doing this show. It's on TLC, so I don't know who production is, but we know. Ooh, then it goes back to California, and it looks like you see Mike and Elisa, and Mike asks her, what if one of them changed their mind about, you know, wanting to be with other people? And she's like, huh? Girl, you heard him. He said, what if one of us change our mind? Unless production, again, I don't know. But I'm a little confused because they show Shari and like a fertility doctor with Patrick and another bald-headed guy. I don't see Noble. What's going on? Who is this man, Harpo? Who this man? Oh, okay. I'm gonna get a picture of him. Lord, then they show Kim and Vincent, and she's reiterating again that he gonna have to be okay with her seeing other people, and um, then they show her talking to another guy, and he's about, I don't know, a couple of seats away, sitting there. I guess it was the test to see how he could take it. I have no idea because it's just a clip. Then they show him walking away. It looks like he's walking away in a hug. But again, we all know production. We don't know why he really walked away. Tiger said there's only one thought that comes to his mind and what this dude is provided. And Carl starts laughing. And Kenya says, what? And he says, the D. All right, Tiger. He like, what else he got besides the D? Like, what's the problem, Tiger? Explain it to me. They show Shari telling the husband and the other bald guy that her cycle was 3 weeks late. Then it cuts to Mike and Elisa. It looks like maybe telling his mother, and she asks if she wouldn't have cheated, would he have accepted this lifestyle from her? Because remember, she thinks that the wife is forcing her son to be poly. So they looking all uncomfortable and stuff. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna get better because like I said earlier, I'm gonna give this first episode a C. Um, I don't know, a C plus. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C plus because hopefully it's gonna get a little bit better. But I understand the first episode can be slow and it can get better. So no offense to production. I love y'all. I love production. Okay. Anyway, I definitely enjoyed this first episode and I hope to be able to get more subscribers and go live and so we can talk about it and have like watch parties and things like that, even if we have to do it some other kind of way. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. In the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you did like it. If you didn't like it, you still can comment. You can dislike it. Either way, it don't matter. Um, but hit the leave me a comment. Ask me any questions that you may have about anything. And like I said, I'm gonna try to get these people on this show as many as I can. I ask them to do interviews if they are open to it, and hopefully we can do that. I don't know if they'll want to do them live, but either way, it doesn't matter as long as I get the interview. But you guys, thank you so much for rocking with me, taking stand on this video for so long, and have a good night. Peace.